welcome to News in Brief. Units of the Syrian Arab Army continue to restore law and order to Jisr al-Shghur and its environs after defeating the armed terrorist organizations whose remains continued to enrich themselves in the mountains and forests around the city. One soldier was killed and 4 others were wounded in the clashes with those terrorists. The army entered the city after defusing the explosive devices of the dynamite planted by those gangsters on roads and bridges. The clashes also led to the death of 2 terrorists and the detention of large numbers of these armed organizations. Large amounts of weapons were also captured. Units of the army had purged the national hospital of the terrorist gangs. The people of Al-Kfair village in Jisr al-Shghur received the army units with flowers and cheers. They denied media reports that they were attacked or harmed by the army. They expressed happiness that the army brought them back security and tranquility, along with food and aid supplies, after armed men wreaked havoc in the area. The atrocities committed by the terrorist gangs in Jisr al-Shghur against the security, police forces and citizens are becoming clearer day by day. They plotted to dig massive graves and to photograph them and send the pictures to suspicious TV stations. They also used the mutilated bodies to defame the army. More than 20 mass media reporters were invited to view the massive graveyard, which contained 10 bodies of policemen killed by the terrorist gangs, which mutilated the bodies and cut off their heads. This was another gruesome chapter of the conspiracy against Syria.
بدك شو بدك اثنين؟ السياسة السلمية تبع من أبناء هذا الوطن من أبناء هذا هو ما بعرف والله هو اخترق النار من صدره هذا هو الإسلام في نظرهم هذا هو الإسلام في نظرهم بنظر العرعون نعم شو مدني
One of the armed terrorists admitted his crimes against police and security forces in Jisr al-Shghur.
اسمي أنور شو؟ أنور نافع الدوش.
Anwar Nafi Ad-Douch was one of the terrorists who carried out the massacre and the rape and the murder of 4 girls from the city of Aleppo. He said that his gang was headed by Hussein Nawaf, who decapitated the 10 martyrs in the mass grave. Anas Qatroun ordered the digging of those mass graves in order to accuse the army of doing that. The gang consisted of 40 armed terrorists. Some of them took part in preparing the mass graveyards. Ad-Douch said that the gangsters threatened to kill him if he did not join them. They received the smuggled weapons in order to attack the positions of the police and the security forces and the public buildings. Ad-Douch admitted that he received around 50,000 Syrian pounds and was promised to get an equal sum, smuggled in from Lebanon. Ad-Douch admitted that he joined 4 other gangsters in raping 4 girls. Then they killed them and cut their bodies into pieces and threw them into the Orontes River.
Syrian flags were raised in the streets of Damascus before the embassies of Russia, Lebanon, South Africa, China and India in a stand of gratitude for their support to the process of reform in Syria. These countries have always stood in words and deeds by Syria and international arenas, showing solidarity with all the forces defending people's causes and